If you like this video, make sure to visit our Vimeo page and follow us to get the latest update.
Hi, good morning. Any questions till now?
No major questions.
Right.
I just haven't received the video recordings from Sam, but I just texted him this
Okay.
morning. So
Yeah.
hopefully
Yeah, you'll get it today, no problem. Right. We'll continue with this third topic. How do we assess and manage risks? How do we execute project to deliver business value? When we say how do we manage the risks, here we're talking about, say, for example, for the SAP project, risk can be like software integration complexities, or it can be a potential data loss during migration, or unexpected delays in system, all these. Right? And how do we mitigate these and manage these risks? And when we execute project to deliver business value, here business value may be like improve efficiency or streamline process, enhance data analysis capabilities, right? Mainly focusing on business objectives. Right? What is the benefits or business benefits the client or end user is getting? Right? And manage communication, here we are talking about like everyone is informed or aligned with the project status and direction or vision of the project. How we are communicating with all the people. And engage stakeholders, here it can be like involving end users, IT team, project sponsors, or decision-making process, gathering feedback. Right? Any of these, you're engaging with all the stakeholders and ensuring like at the end, you'll get consensus, everybody agrees this is the final requirement they want in the project. Right? And create project artifacts. Here we are talking about like documentation, like training material, implementation plan, or any resources necessary for successful deployment. All these are nothing but project artifacts, project plans, and project changes. Here we are talking about if there is any changes in terms of business requirements, or modifying the scope, or modifying the timelines, right? Or any revised expectations. All these can be part of project changes.
Right.
Project issues, here we are talking about any integration difficulties or unexpected delays, right? Or any schedule slippage, effort slippage. All these can be part of project issues.
Okay.
And effective knowledge transfer, here we are talking mainly on like training sessions or documentation handovers to different teams. Knowledge transfer to end users and all. For one by one, we'll see each of them. First one is like for doing the work. Here, from the SAP project point of view, like we'll have 4 phases like executing software configuration or data migration or user trainings or system deployment like this. Therefore, when we say executing software configuration, like SAP software based on business requirements, a system design has been implemented. Right? Or data migration, transferring existing data from legacy system into new SAP system and ensuring it integrates smoothly.
Right.
User training and testing, here we are talking about training session to the end users to familiarize with the new system, right? Performing various testing phases and guaranteeing that system will function as expected.
Okay.
Documentation and go live, here we are mainly talking about making the project operational and giving it to production so that it can be used by the end users. Right? All these can be part of doing the work. And assess and manage risks. Here we are talking identifying the risks or assessing the risks or developing mitigation strategies. When we say identifying the risk, so for example, data migration risk, like possible data loss during migration from old system to SAP system. Technical risk can be like integration complexities between SAP system and existing systems.
Okay.
Resource risk, like shortage of skilled personnel for system deployment. And all these, we are identifying the risks and assessing the likelihood and impact. Say, for example, data migration, likelihood is high due to volume of data. And impact is critical if it is not managed well.
Right.
Crucial data or information loss is there.
Mhm.
Technical risk here, likelihood is moderate, but the impact is high due to potential delay in operational disruptions.
Okay.
Resource risk, likelihood is low and impact is moderate, as it may slightly delay the project timelines. And develop mitigation strategies. Therefore, when we say data migration mitigation, therefore regular data backups are taken through testing, having rollback plan in case of data loss. Right? Technical risk mitigation, employing expert consultants, right? Conducting pilot tests, having phased integration approach on this. Resource risk mitigation, like cross-training team members, having contingency plans, recruitment strategy if necessary.
Mhm.
All these we have handling. If we say risk management, we should first identify the risk, then assess likelihood, then develop any mitigation strategies. All this.
Okay.
Right? Therefore, you will be managing their impact, ensuring that project stays on track to achieve its objectives.
Yeah.
And assess and manage risks. Here we are talking about identifying the potential risk. Right? So these risks could be involved like technical challenges, resource constraints, scope changes, or external factors affecting the project.
Okay.
Analyze risk likelihood and impact. Here it will help to prioritize risk based on the probability and severity, allowing the team to focus on managing the most critical risk. Right? And budget and resource management. Here, this will ensure that allocated budget and resources align with the project requirements.
Okay.
And utilized effectively. And monitor risks and adjust strategies. Here we are talking about regularly reviewing, adapting the mitigation strategies based on nature of risks or changes in project environment or new risk factors that emerge. All this, those can be part of monitoring. Right? Therefore, we'll have all these four phases: identify potential risk, analyze risk, budget and resource management, and monitor risks and adjust strategies. When handling this, we'll follow all these. And execute project to deliver business value. Here, mainly we are talking about the necessary tasks to deliver the intended business value. Say, for example, managing resources, tracking progress, ensuring quality. Is in managing resources, like tasks to meet the project objectives, like managing software, hardware, skilled personnel specific to SAP implementation. All those can be part of managing resources. Tracking progress. This involves like keeping an eye on project timelines, ensure that it is aligned with the project planned objectives, like our project vision, and ensuring quality. Here we are talking about like testing SAP system, ensure data accuracy, and validating that implementing SAP solution aligns with the business needs. All these part of ensure quality. And for this, we have again 4 steps: develop a comprehensive project plan and effective resource management, continuous process tracking, and quality assurance measures. Therefore, if we say like a comprehensive project plan, it includes like everything, like necessary tasks, resources required, project timelines, budget allocation, all these we are adding here.
Okay.
For SAP project, this could involve like SAP system implementation phases, resource requirements, or SAP consultants, hardware, software required, project timelines, budgetary considerations, all these can be part of it. And effective resource management, here we are talking about like managing specialized skills required for SAP configuration, ensuring access to necessary software, hardware, or any other resources for successful implementation.
Okay.
Continuous progress and tracking, it makes like necessary adjustments to the plan it is required, like adjusting schedules or resource allocation or objectives to ensure project success. Quality assurance, Say here conduct regular audits or reviews and quality checks, ensure that project output is implemented for the SAP system. It will meet the defined quality criteria and align with business needs. All these can be part of quality assurance, like reconfirming requirements. All this.
Okay. I got a question.
Yeah,
So when it comes to number 3, where you're tracking project progress and adjustments to the project plan,
right.
how do you negotiate these adjustments? Let's say they give you a timeline, and for
Yeah,
whatever reason, you're not able to meet that deadline.
right.
Um, how do you
Like
explain
there are
that to the stakeholders so that they're not thinking that you're just, slacking, or you're not, you know
right,
what I mean? Make sure that your adjustments are valid. How do you bring up that information to them?
right. Usually we'll have like weekly or daily status reports, right? In the status reports, we'll mention, say for example, if the software is not provided within the given timeline, then the project may be delayed for other 1 week. Or,
Got it.
for example, licenses is not provided, software tool licenses are not provided or not renewed, right? Then we can say like other 15 days is been extended here for the project timeline. Therefore, you should always, whenever you are sending your status reports, you should mention these in your status reports, like red, amber, green, like that. You give like color coding for each of these risks, and then you can give them like what is the possible likely risk that may occur in future, that you are cautioning upfront itself, so that these risks can be mitigated quickly.
Okay. So that would tie in with those weekly
Right.
meetings or whatever meetings those regular meetings that you have. Okay.
Right, it can be part of regular meetings or it can be part of status reports also.
Right, the status reports.
Right.
Okay.
Then manage communication. Here we are talking about regular communicating with stakeholders. Right.
Okay.
For SAP project, this include like discussion with business leaders, technical team, SAP consultants, and end users. Right.
Yeah.
Therefore, you are communicating, ensure that everybody involved in the project understands the
Right.
progress, understands the risks in the project, and understands if any alterations in the project plan. All these need to be communicated.
Okay.
And also information sharing. When we say information sharing, we're talking about relevant to project information, such as SAP implementation timelines, changes in configurations, or challenges faced during implementation. Right? All these are conveying clearly and ensure that everybody understands the current status of the project.
Right.
Address challenges and changes. Here we are talking about, say, if it is an unexpected technical difficulties or shift in business requirements or alteration in project timelines, right? Or effective communication will help stakeholders to understand why these challenges have occurred, how you are identifying the mitigation steps for them, right? And documentation and reporting. Here we are talking about like progress reports or status reports or minutes of meeting or any change requests or any relevant documentation, right? To keep the people informed about what are the project objectives, whether they are meeting the deadline within the given objectives or all this. And there can be tailored communication also. Right? Business leaders might need high level summary, whereas technical teams might require more detailed technical information regarding project implementation. Therefore, we have to prioritize effective communication. Therefore, it's a project manager's responsibility. Like all involved stakeholders are informed, aligned, and proactively address the challenges for the project.
Mm.
Right? And manage communication. Here we are talking about like identify all the stakeholders. Identification and communication needs. Therefore, who are the people who are the relevant people required for the project?
Right.
Right? Who is having interest related to the project, who is having influence related to the project. Accordingly, should classify and identify the stakeholders. right?
Okay.
Like business leaders, technical team, SAP consultants, end users. Right? Therefore, understand their communication needs, their way of communication, preferable time for communication. All these you need to identify.
Okay.
And develop a communication plan. Communication plan is nothing but like daily, monthly, weekly meetings. How you are going to schedule? Like say, team lead want to talk to team members daily, or client want to talk to team members weekly once, or on-site delivery manager want to talk to team lead monthly once. Like that. Therefore, you are preparing a daily, monthly, weekly meetings plan. That is called as communication plan. And regular stakeholder communication. Here we are talking like regular updates in the project progress, challenges encountered, or any alteration in the project plan. All these we are going to communicate through status reports.
Okay.
It will help in transparent communication. And
Okay.
you can also use various communication channels. Right? Therefore, conduct meetings for in-depth discussions or provide status reports tailored to different stakeholders. Right? Utilizing various ways of communication through mail or through chat or through video conference, teleconference, or communicating with all the stakeholders. All these are called as communication channels. Right? And then engage these stakeholders. Here, engagement will be like identifying the stakeholders or stakeholder communication or understanding stakeholder expectations, right? Who will be involved in decision making and adopt, if any, communication approach. When we say identify stakeholders, say for example, for SAP project, who are the stakeholders? Like project, who supports the project financially or politically, customers who will use the SAP system, end users who interact with the system, suppliers who provide necessary resources, or contractors hired for specialized tasks. All these can be part of stakeholders. Right? Anybody
Right.
who is directly or indirectly related to the project or affected by the outcome of a project, they're called as stakeholders. And
Right.
stakeholders communication, here we are talking about regular communication. Stakeholders are informed about the project progress, any challenges faced, any significant decisions made during the project. And understand stakeholder expectations. Here we are talking about like stakeholders engagement, like active listening or responding to concerns, questions, and expectations. Right?
Mhm.
And all these you are aligning, everybody you are aligning to the project goal, whatever the stakeholder needs.
Right.
And involvement of decision making, therefore, say for example, engaging stakeholders in discussion of an important decision making. Ensure that their needs or concerns are considered and addressed during the meeting. Therefore, any new requirement changes are coming. Therefore, involve those customers also part of your meeting who ask those requirements so that their concerns also addressed during the meeting.
Okay.
Adapt communication approaches. Therefore, need to identify various stakeholders might need detailed. Some people may need require technical information, detailed technical information. Other might require only high-level summaries. Therefore, based on their requirement, you can give different presentations to each of them.
Okay.
And engage stakeholders. Here we are talking about understanding the stakeholder needs. Like stakeholders needs, it can be identifying the roles and responsibilities of the people, how the project might impact them. It can be like shareholder of a company, it can be like developer, tester, CEO of a company, sponsor of the project. Anybody can be part of it. Therefore, what are their needs to be fulfilled in the project?
Okay.
And managing successful expectation. Here we are talking about ensuring transparency, right, regarding what the project can realistically achieve.
Mhm.
Communicate if any project constraints or limitations or possible risks that could influence the stakeholders. And develop like engagement plan. Right? Therefore, this plan details about the frequency and mode of communication. Right? Engagement in terms of who are the stakeholders, what are their preferences, when you should talk to them, or when they should be called for the meeting. All these you need to identify. And get the regular communication and feedback. The regular communication will be like informing about project progress, milestones achieved, or potential roadblocks, or changes in the project plan. and also seek and consider any stakeholders' feedback to address any of these concerns and make necessary adjustments to the project execution. All these can be part of this regular communication
Okay.
and create project artifacts. Here we are talking about the documentation part, and creating some project plans, schedules, budget, risk registers, or minutes of meeting or status reports. All these can be part of project artifacts. Right? For example, SAP implementation plan, details like phases, milestones, timelines for each SAP modules rollout. Right? Schedules can be like Gantt chart, timelines, or task lists, sequencing duration of activities involved in SAP implementation or upgrade or migration. Budgets, like indicating allocated resources, estimated cost, expenses for different aspects of SAP project, like hardware, software, licenses, consulting, all this. Risk registers, like documenting like potential risks to the project that can impact the planned resources, or mitigation strategies, like identifying possible system integration challenges. All this. Right? For one project, one risk register will be there. For any risk related to the project, we're updating here. And minutes of meeting, at the end of every meeting, we'll have this. What are the action items from the project meeting? Right? Related to SAP project updates, obstacles, or any resolution strategies. All these can be part of minutes. And then finally, you're sending status reports, like where you are presenting the current progress, milestones achieved, or issues encountered in the SAP projects. All these can be part of status reports. Right? All these are part of artifacts. Here we have 4 steps, like identify required project artifacts. Here you are going through like project charter or scope statement about the project, which will identify what are the documents needed for SAP project. It can be plans, reports, schedules, or any other documentation for project delivery.
Okay.
Right? And second, like develop templates and guidelines. Here we are talking about like for SAP project might require like standardized format for project plans or risk registers or status reports. And it will maintain uniformity and clarity in project documentation. And assign responsibility for artifacts. Here responsibilities, yeah.
So for these project artifacts, where do you get like the templates or the formats
Yeah,
to
there are
use?
a lot of templates, right? I will share some of the templates, no problem. Right?
Okay. Okay.
For each of these phases, there are a lot of templates like project plan or status reports or schedules. There are a lot of templates available.
Okay.
Right? We'll share them.
Okay.
And third is assign responsibility. Here, for example, like one team member could be responsible for updating the project schedule, while other may be managing the risk assessment documents. Right? Therefore, individual person is managing each of these artifacts. Review and approve all project artifacts. Here, we're talking about like a project manager should review and approve all project artifacts. Right? It will ensure accuracy, relevance, and consistency in information being disseminated to all the stakeholders. Right? All these. And one more is manage project changes. Here we are talking about change management. Right? If any change request get initiated, right? How we are going to handle this, and now what is the impact assessment, and whether this change is approved or rejected, and any documentation and communication about the changes. All this change request initiation. Here we are talking, say for example, change request might involve like altering the scope functionality or any aspect of a certain project. Therefore, in the middle of the project, you're changing some of the scope or some of the requirements. And impact assessment, like considering factors like cost, time, resources, potential risk associated with proposed change. All those can be part of impact assessment. Right? Approval or rejection. Here we are talking about if change aligns with the project goals, don't adversely affect the project success. Right? The change that significantly impact the project. Right? Constraints may be rejected. Therefore, it depends on whether time got within the given time you're able to deploy it, or you are taking additional time for implementing this additional change in the requirement. But time to market is critical. Therefore, within 1 week, we should deploy the product to the customer. If there is any major change, you should not take now. After deployment, you'll get it to the next version of the project. Right? That decision is taken from the senior management or client who sponsors it. Right? That approval or rejection decision is taken for every change. And then if it is able to implement now, you're updating the documentation and communicating to all the stakeholders.
Okay.
All these are part of proposed changes. And here we are talking about like the change management process. Right? Therefore, developed a structured process, like how the change request will be documented, reviewed, assessed, and implemented in the project. Right?
Okay.
It's like clearly define the necessary steps, like communicating the change management process. Here, we are talking about establishing the change management process with relevant stakeholders. There should be a change manager, right? And there should be a reviewer, approver, who will approve the time, cost, or effort. Right? Therefore, it is important to everyone is involved in the project, understand how the change requests will be managed and processed. And review and assess change requests. Here we are talking about evaluate the change request thoroughly, assess its potential impact project in terms of scope, schedule, budget, risks. Right? Whether the proposed change aligns with the project objectives or constraints. All these we are checking. And updating the project plan and communication. Right? Here, if the change request is approved, update the project plan accordingly, communicate these changes to all the stakeholders, ensure they are aware of the approved modifications, understand how they will be getting affected with relevant to the project. Then implement and monitor the changes. Here, therefore, continuously monitor and track the impact of these changes on the project. Ensure they are aligned with project goals and not adversely affect the success criteria. Right? All these you will do as part of change management. And how do you manage project issues? Yeah, basically, you should identify like what are the issues that are coming into the project. Then you are analyzing, then resolving, then monitoring. Right? When we say identifying, keep close watch on the problems or challenges during the project. Right? Ensure that team members are encouraged to report the issues promptly. Then analyzing the issues, conduct thorough analysis. It can be root cause analysis, talk to some subject matter experts, right? Use different techniques like fishbone diagrams or any tools you are going to use to identify the root cause of the issues. Like you can use like brainstorming sessions or workshops. Right? Understand like what each of the people understands about the issue and come up with root cause. Right? And what is its impact on project objectives and what is the potential risk it poses. All these need to be considered. And resolving these issues, work with stakeholders or team members, develop an effective solution, or discuss implementation strategies, right, with some subject matter experts. Right? Ensure that project objectives, constraints, and stakeholders' expectations are aligned. Right? Then monitor the impact. After implementing the solution, monitor issues closely. Ensure that the proposed solution is effective and do not lead to any adverse effects on the project. All these part of manage project issues. Here again, there are 5 steps. First step is identify and track the issues. Here, we're keeping a record of all the issues that arise through the project. It can be like creating an issue log or issue register that tracks each problem status, priority. Monitor and adjust solutions. Here, like keep an eye on effectiveness of the solution that is implemented. Then be ready to make necessary adjustments to solution if needed. right? Analyze issues. Here we are talking about, like, for every issue, conduct thorough analysis, determine root cause, how it impacts the project objectives, and any potential risks it poses. Then communicate the status, communicate the issue status. Here we are talking about regular communication of the status of issues to all stakeholders. Transparency in issue tracking and resolution helps keep all parties updated with the latest info. Right? Develop and implement the solution. Here we are talking like collaborating with team to develop effective solution, right, based on issue analysis, and implement these solutions promptly or deploy to the end users. Right? All these will ensure like minimal impact on the project and ensure knowledge transfer for project continuity. Here we are talking about like doing knowledge transfer related to the product, like after the product has been given to the end users. So for example, for SAP project, the IT team that develops a new software system need to do knowledge transfer about the system to technical support teams responsible for maintenance. It can be sharing of detailed documentation, system specifications, or training sessions. Ensure that support team comprehends the system's functionality. Right? Therefore, effective knowledge transfer enables the support team to address issues or implement updates and maintain the system without interruption. Right? Therefore, development team can conclude their work. Right? All these part of knowledge transfer. Therefore, how we will be doing this? Any of these: analyze the issues, develop the solution, identify and track the issues. Right? Analyze the issues. During the SAP project, the project manager and the team identify an issue where the new system frequently fails to sync data across departments. Right? They delve into the problem, identify the root cause, investigate like is there any software configuration issues, right, and its interaction during existing systems, and identify like what are the issues that arise due to integration problems. All this. Then develop the solution. Here we are talking mainly about like reconfiguration of the system to streamline data transfer protocols or enhancing capability. Right? Or a new middleware is introduced to optimize data exchange between different modules. Then identify and track the issues. Here, like recording each problem, it details impacts and steps taken to resolve it. Right? Maintaining an issue log for reference or further analysis. Monitor effectiveness. Here we are talking about like solution effectiveness, post implementation of the work. Right? Track data synchronization across departments. Observe whether new configuration was minimized or eradicated in previous issues. Or is there any further adjustments or refinements required for system operation effectively? All such feedbacks are getting. Or monitor for effectiveness. All these we will do as part of this project. Right? Any questions on these?
No, not pretty clear.
Yeah, just go through all these. If any doubts, we'll again discuss tomorrow. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you for attending the session. I hope you all enjoyed it. Don't forget to visit our Vimeo page and follow for more upcoming videos.